Call from mom. Answer it. Call silenced.
Instacart knows nothing gets between you and the game. That's why they make ordering from your couch easy. Stock up today and get all your groceries for the week delivered in as fast as 30 minutes without missing a minute of the game.
You have 47 new voicemails.
Download the app to get free delivery on your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 per order. Additional terms apply.
Save on Cox Internet when you add Cox Mobile and get fiber-powered internet at home and unbeatable 5G reliability on the go. So whether you're playing a game at home,
yes, goal,
or attending one live, you can do more without spending more. Learn how to save at cox.com/internet. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial cable. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. 2H 2023. Results may vary, not an endorsement. Other restrictions apply.
Have you ever covered a carpet stain with a rug? Ignored a leaky faucet? Pretended your half-painted living room is supposed to look that way? Well, you're not alone. We've all got unfinished home projects. Whether it's a door that sticks, or a disorganized closet, or an AC unit that only works half the time. It all matters. You just haven't taken care of it yet. But there's an easier way. Just download the Thumbtack app. You can search for what you need done and find tons of highly rated pros right in your neighborhood. Check prices, reviews, and book a pro right on the spot. Plus, you'll know what to tackle next, because Thumbtack is the app that shows you what to do, who to hire, and when. Pull out your phone and in just a few taps, say goodbye to all those unfinished home projects and say hello to caring for your home the easier way. Download Thumbtack and start a project today.
Radio you can touch.
That can only mean one thing.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show.
You seem to know all the players in this poorly acted farce. What do they call that one?
Bob Lutz.
I've known you your entire life. There's no one who knows less about football.
Jeff Lutz.
I think every bowl game from now on should be named after something you can put in a bowl, like raisins. The Orange Bowl's fine. Sugar Bowl's okay, but no Tax Slayer Bowl. You can't put that in a bowl. You can envision a bowl of raisins.
Call yourself a man. I weep for you.
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is a Thursday edition of the Bob and Jeff Show, KFH Radio. Bob Lutz, Jeff Lutz. We're here for the next couple of hours. 869-1240, the IHOP hotline, Max Power. There to answer your phone calls. He's our producer and engineer. Well, disappointing news right before we go on the air. The dirt fields at McAdams Park have not dried properly. And we're not going to be able to play on them tonight.
That's not good.
How much rain came through here last night?
I don't know.
Loudest clap of thunder I've ever heard.
I didn't hear that. I must have missed the thunder.
Well, you live a long way away from here.
No, I'm sure there was some thunder out there too, but I didn't hear any of it.
Well, you would have heard this. It startled everyone.
That's not good.
Jumped up. I jumped up. My wife was in disarray over it. Just scary. But I don't know how much it rained.
I don't really know either. I think it was about an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch, somewhere around there.
Well, you work at a weather lab. I would think that you'd...
I don't work at a weather lab. I don't step foot into whatever you think this lab is. Or I'm a reporter. You know, I'm not a weatherman.
Reporting is knowing how much it rained.
Not really. Those stories
Back in the day, we all had rain gauges. Even I had a rain gauge at one point.
Okay, what does that have to do with anything?
We all wanted to know how much it rained. We ran out to our rain gauge. Ours was hanging on the clothesline at one point. Now, nobody has a clothesline anymore.
Not that I've seen.
Back in the day, we did you ever have a clothesline?
Yeah, I nearly decapitated myself on one time.
Where was that?
Over on Sheridan.
Oh, yeah, we did have a clothesline over there.
In the backyard.
Well, clotheslines are out of date. They don't use them anymore.
Why would anyone need to? I'm sure some people have them, but not really anybody that I know.
We didn't have a dryer when I was growing up. We had a washing machine, but we didn't have a dryer. So once the clothes were washed, my mother went out and hung them on the clothesline. And guess who had to gather them?
You.
Yours truly.
No. Nice
and
little
guess
chore
who didn't
for you.
like that job?
Your mother.
Me.
Well, your mom didn't either, obviously, because she passed it off on you.
We probably had more acrimony over that particular chore than any other. Didn't mind taking the trash out. Didn't mind, helping with the dishes. But, boy, you asked me to go get the clothes off the line? No. Didn't like it.
No, well, I don't know
You've
what to
never
tell
been
you.
asked to do that.
Nope, not one single time.
In your glory life. I mean, what person should get through life without collecting clothes off the clothesline?
I don't know. Children, I guess.
Why aren't you participating in this conversation?
I don't know what I'm supposed to say.
It's interesting.
Is it?
Yes.
For who?
For me.
And who else?
And everyone.
You think so?
That's why we call this our 1st and 20 segment. We got 20 yards we got to pick up. I'm throwing Hail Marys over here. It's up to you to catch them and gain some yards. And right now you're dropping everything I throw to you.
Well, my bad. What else you got?
Come here and be ready to go.
What else you got?
You know, I was going to have a guest that I asked you to obtain, but I sent you a text earlier, and your
reply
reply
was yesterday while I was in a meeting with the head digital person at Great Television, and that lasted about another hour, and I forgot after that. So my huge apologies.
The head digital person from Gray Television.
Correct.
And what that person have to
I've
say?
never met him. He's never been in our newsroom before.
How'd you carry yourself?
I carried myself like me.
Was he impressed? Did he have a one-on-one conversation?
No, we
with
didn't
you?
have any one-on-one conversations.
Was there a time where he shook your hand?
I don't think we shook hands.
Well, so you were just a body in there.
No, it was digital meetings. We had digital team meetings, and he seemed.
Well, what I would do is make some time to introduce myself to each individual.
He was in meetings all day.
To each individual.
He did. He came around and did everything. We did it all.
So he did
But
introduce himself to you.
There were no formalities.
No handshake.
No, he walked around the newsroom, and I don't know what they did in the other meetings.
Did you glean anything from these meetings?
Just that, when you reach a point where you feel like you're successful, that means you were a failure earlier, and that means you should be able to do more.
Well, that's a tried and true message throughout history.
Well, even when you're
by employers.
No, that's my takeaway, not necessarily what his was.
Well, but that's one that every employer uses. You're not doing enough. They try to make it seem like you're doing well, but you're not doing enough.
No one said that.
The key words there are you're not doing enough.
No one said that.
That's what I heard you say.
That's what I took away.
Why'd you take it away?
Because I don't know. I don't like resting on my laurels. I don't like just, hey, we're doing great. We got these improved metrics across the board and everything's going really well. Well, how do we improve on the improvement? How do we get better from that? Because if at some point, if we just keep doing that, it stagnates. People get tired of it, and then you fail to.
Well, what
further
innovative
innovate.
ideas are we pushing forward?
I don't know. They just like video. They just want more video. So we try to put video on pretty much every story now.
Well, hopefully you can make that happen.
Let's hope.
I wish the best for you. Did the Guardians, they lost last night, am I correct?
Yes.
Royals lost yesterday. Cardinals lost last night. Pacers, one chance tonight, right?
Yeah, well, they're at home.
They're at home. Can they send this to a seventh
They'll win
game?
tonight, but they seem to have given up in Game 5 in New York. They just stopped playing, and it was pretty disheartening to watch because I don't know what the message is to a team that causes them to stop playing and quit.
Well, you got to reset. You got to hit the reset button, right?
I guess you just have to put that behind you.
Mentally, I can kind of understand how this happens. Mentally, it becomes too much to overcome. You're on the road. The Knicks have played well at home. Jalen Brunson is, I don't care if you like him or not.
I don't like him.
He's a tremendous player. So you get
He's
to the
all right.
No, he's a tremendous player.
Well, he shoots every time he touches the ball.
Whether or not that's the case or not, then keep him from shooting, because he's shooting at a pretty high percentage in this series.
He's fine. We'll lock him down.
You won't lock him down. You never have.
We'll get him.
You can't just say we'll get him.
Game 4, we shut everybody down. We won by 40 almost.
Right, but that's an anomaly.
Well, hopefully losing by 30 is an anomaly too.
We'll see.
This gets back to somewhat of a competitive series.
And then Denver can wrap it up tonight.
And will.
In Minneapolis against what I thought, and what I think a lot of people thought after those first 2 games, was a team in the Timberwolves that was going to be heard from for a long time in the NBA.
Well, they probably
still may
will.
Be, but Denver has impressed me here.
Well, you got to knock off the champs. The champs aren't just going to go away. The champs aren't going to lay down for somebody. They're going to be the champs, and they're going to play like the champs.
I mean, at times, who was the champ in Major League Baseball last year?
Texas.
How they're laying down.
They're not laying down. They have every pitcher on the planet is on their injured list, and they're piecing it together with.
Who's been in the? What about the Astros? Are they laying down?
I don't think so.
They're terrible.
Yeah, they're terrible, but if you get them in a playoff series, they're not just going to, go out with a whimper. That's different from regressing in a regular season.
Look at all I did. I had my lineup ready, had my position paper ready. We were going to play tonight at 8:00, and it's disappointing to the old
we got
man.
6 hours. Can we not?
Now, the city's already told me that, and they are good about this. They don't cry wolf. They've said they've worked on the fields. They can't get it. It's just not going to happen. It's too muddy out there.
No, that's not good. I'm sorry.
And that's why we're making the effort, ladies and gentlemen, and I get asked about this all the time. That's why we're making the effort with Major League Baseball to put turf on these fields. It's not a luxury. Although it's a great item, it's a great thing to have. I don't view it as a luxury. It's become a necessity because we lose too many games to rain. When you play on dirt, we just lose too many games. We're going to play tonight on our 2 turf fields.
Of course.
They're wonderful. We're ready to go.
Well, let's get it moving then.
We are going to get it moving.
What's the timeline on getting turf fields?
Hopefully for next season.
Well, that'd be beautiful.
I'm having conversations with people from Major League Baseball. I won't say every day, but often. And I had conversations today with Major League Baseball as we're working on a firm date for the new statue. And we're going to have some announcements on that. Some cool, very cool announcements.
Okay,
might even impress you.
Might even impress me. Well,
you're hard to impress. Nothing gets to you.
Well, I am hard to impress, but that has.
Well, you're a newsman looking for a new, whatever. It's hard to impress you.
Yeah, it is.
Which is a shame.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
But I think when we're able to get this all finalized, I think even a skeptic like you will be impressed.
Well, when are you going to let that out of the bag?
As soon as I have more details. Working on it. A lot of things I'm going to announce here soon.
No, we're all waiting.
No, you're not. You're
Eagerly.
not. Nobody's calling me.
Well,
I haven't had a call
you
from
about?
your news director yet.
Why would they call? To see what maybe is going to happen?
Yeah, talk to me. Catch up. That's all. I had a conversation this morning with the head guy out at the foundry in Colorado, making good progress on the Jackie Robinson statue. So sometime in August, sometime in the first couple of weeks of August, we'll be erecting the new Jackie statue.
Beautiful. It's all good. I mean, you've told us that before, so we already kind of knew.
I thought you might have a follow-up question or a bit of.
Well, you're shrouding everything in mystery for the most part. I got maybe this to announce and maybe this, and I'm having these conversations, but you're not really telling us anything. So
I'm setting the scene.
Figure when it's time for follow-ups, then
I'm setting the scene. Scene setter. You've heard of them.
I suppose, but if the scene's not happening for 3 months...
Look at what Rome's doing. He's been talking about going on Twitter for...
The X platform.
Yeah. And I don't know how I feel about that.
Why not?
Because I don't like X, Twitter.
Well, you don't have to watch him on that. He's still going to be on the radio if you so choose.
So he's going to be on X every day.
Apparently.
And I'm supposed to... That's the video platform now for his show.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be good for his show. I think there are going to be too many people who kind of think that they get it, that they get what his show is early on, and they won't get it, and it'll water it down. I just don't think it'll go well. But we'll see. Jim Rome has rarely made a bad business decision about his radio show. He's got a lot of money.
This feels like Live Golf a little bit. Like they're probably guaranteeing him a ton of money.
He said it wasn't that much.
Really?
Yes.
What's the upside then?
To try to expand, to try to get his show out to more people. But again, I think more people will on Twitter. There's no nuance on Twitter. There's not going to be any of the people who really know the show. They'll just think they do and ruin it. But you never know.
How do we get to more people? Should we have meetings about that? About how we can try to do that? I mean, there's the morning show. They're on video, and
does anybody watch the video?
Well, I don't know. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to look at you when I'm doing this show. I don't want to look at a computer screen.
Well, they don't do this.
You looking at another computer screen. That there's no personality there.
Well, they don't do the show in the same room.
Well, we do. Don't we gain from that?
Probably. Can't hurt.
Now, if the money were to be spent, I'm sure they could put a camera on you during the show and a camera on me.
Well, if they're going to spend money, I'd rather that just go to us.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about all of it. Does that expand an audience? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, that's not our...
You can already listen to this show.
That's not our job, though.
On your traditional radio, 97.5, 1240 AM, the Odyssey app, kfhradio.com. I mean, if you can hear this show.
You can. And but it's not our job to advertise our show. It's advertising.
It's my job.
I mean, it is to a degree, but
I've never had one person come to me and said, "Bob, we'd love to see more of you on camera." Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
Is it my age?
Because you've never been on camera, really. You've never had a sustained run of being on camera.
Well, we did those post-game videos at the Eagle after Shocker
game. Yeah,
game.
that's true. Those were okay.
Well, they were good.
They were all right.
I still see some of them.
What do you mean you still see some of them?
Some of them pop up occasionally.
Like on what?
On my timeline.
So you posted them on Facebook,
probably,
and they show up on your.
If I do a Google search for my name, Bob Lutz, Wichita Eagle, there's a bunch of them that pop up.
You know what I can't find? My stuff from MLB.com. It's just gone. It's not out there anymore.
Well, I wonder why.
I don't know. They must delete the archives after some period of time.
Well, not all my columns are online.
That's true.
Some are. I don't understand.
I don't know where it goes.
That's why I did a compilation of my columns.
Because it's not erased from everything forever.
When's the last time you opened up that The Best I Could Do book of
I can't even
my
remember.
Columns? Yet lately?
Not that I remember.
Do you know where it is?
I have.
If I asked you to go get that book in your house, would you be able to walk right to it?
Yes.
Well, that makes me happy. But you haven't cracked it open in a while.
Well, I've pretty much read it. I read it before it was out. I read the columns as they happened. I edited the book. I don't know that I need to revisit it.
But you never had a moment where you thought to yourself, man, I'd like to read that column again.
Oh, no, I don't.
Well, thanks a lot.
I don't know which column of yours stands out that years later I'd need to read it again. Maybe.
What a just terrible thing to say to a man.
Well, do you have a column of yours that you feel the need to read again?
There's a few. There's a few that I like to read, but I haven't done it for a while. The one when KU won the national championship, because I know how quickly that was written, and I know how I just scrambled with that one.
That's what you got to do sometimes.
And I'm always intrigued to see what I came up with on that particular column, which is the only column I ever wrote following a team winning a national championship.
That's it.
The only one.
You weren't were you there in 89?
I was not. I was not covering I was covering high school sports in 89 when Wichita State won its title. I was there in 88 as a sidebar writer.
Yeah, I figured that.
And then I was there as a beat writer in 90, 91, and 93 when they also played in the national championship game.
Yeah, they made. Did they make it in 90?
They made it in 91 and 93. They made it to the College World Series in 88, 89, 91, 92,
yeah, they
93.
didn't make it in 90.
They didn't make it in 90.
That's what I was thinking. I knew there was a year in there, but I knew 92
I had
they
to
made
collect
it.
my thoughts there. So I was there for 4 of those 5 College World Series appearances.
Impressive.
Yeah, it was fun.
I watched most of them on television.
It was one of the highlights of my career. I loved being in Omaha for that. It was a long time, and they had a bar called Polly's. It was a great place to hang out after the games.
Nothing better than that.
Thank you. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll get more into the NBA playoffs. Starting to shape up. It looks like we're going to have Boston and the Knicks, although we'll give the Pacers a shot. And it looks like we're going to have Dallas and Denver, although we can't completely bury Minnesota or Oklahoma City yet. This is the Bob and Jeff Show. It's a Monday. Right back.
Worried about letting someone else pick out the perfect avocado for your perfect impress them on the third date guacamole? Well, good thing Instacart shoppers are as picky as you are. They find ripe avocados like it's their guac on the line. They are milk expiration date detectives. They bag eggs like the 12 precious pieces of cargo they are. So let Instacart shoppers overthink your groceries so that you can overthink what you'll wear on that third date. Download the Instacart app to get free delivery on your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 per order. Additional terms apply.
Save on Cox Internet when you add Cox Mobile and get fiber-powered internet at home and unbeatable 5G reliability on the go. So whether you're playing a game at home,
yes, cool,
or attending one live, you can do more without spending more. Learn how to save at cox.com/internet. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial cable. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. 2H 2023. Results may vary, not an endorsement. Other restrictions apply.
Selling a little or a lot? Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage, to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify is here to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 15% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. And sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. And Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning 24/7 help is there there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow, grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show on 97.5 and 1240 KFA.
869-1240 if you'd like to give Max a call. We're going to talk a little more about the NBA. So I think your Guardians are off tonight. The Cardinals
That's
don't
correct.
play. The Royals are off. Will you tune in to the Pacers, or does it make you too nervous?
I thought played Friday.
Maybe they do. I thought they played. Haven't they been off since?
Yeah, but they have a longer break. I'm pretty sure this is the longer break. Yeah, because they play Sunday.
Well, you hope they play Sunday.
Well, they're supposed to play Sunday.
You want them to play Sunday.
So, no Pacers tonight.
Well, that's bothersome. You do have Denver, Minnesota. Why are they playing?
I think because they want all the Game 7s on Sunday. And all the Game 7s that would be scheduled are on Sunday. So they can't play all 4 series the same day any other day. Because no one's going to sit and watch a 2 o'clock weekday game.
Well, we'll watch Denver, Minnesota tonight, I guess. I was hoping to have that. I know you don't like the Knicks, and I'm not trying to.
Why don't you root for the Pacers?
I sort of am, but I like watching Brunson play.
I can't even imagine.
I don't know why
that would drive me crazy, even as a non-fan, just a casual observer, just a guy. Every time he touches the ball, well, how can I shoot? Can I shoot? Can I shoot? Can I shoot? Where do I have to go to shoot? Can I shoot over there? Shoot over here? Shoot over there? Dribble, drive, pass, shoot, shoot, shoot.
Yeah, great. And look what he's done.
Great.
That team is a shell of itself. They got a lot of guys out. And that guy's going to be a New York hero.
I sure hope not.
You understand that?
Well, I'd rather be the team that gets beat by Boston. I don't want New York to feel good about itself.
Well,
because for them, it's like, hey, we overcame. We got so many guys injured. OG Anunoby went out during the series. Brunson has a bad wheel or two.
Randall's not out there.
Doesn't really matter.
Why?
Against the Pacers, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. One guy is going to score a bunch.
Jalen Brunson. All right, are you ready for this? In the playoffs, has played 11 games. He's averaging 33.9 points per game, 7.5 assists per game.
I doubt it.
Well, what do you mean you doubt it?
I don't think that's accurate.
What do you mean it's not accurate?
I think you've added up all of his assists for his career, and he's got 7.5.
He's shooting 45% from the field. Now, he's not shooting great from the three-point line, but he doesn't, for a guard, he doesn't take a ton of three-pointers. His game is to get into the lane and score.
I know what his
game is.
He's
really good at that. Why can't you stop him?
No, it's not that good at defense. Neesmith, I thought, was going to be the guy to kind of contain him a little bit, but it didn't happen in the last game, and they gave up. And I did not like seeing that.
He does take 6.6 3-pointers per game, but he does take a lot of shots. He's averaging 27 shots per game in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I heard a podcast where when a player has that level of volume of shots, that more often than not, that's a team that's bounced early in the playoffs. Not that you can't get there without a player like that or even win a round, but it's usually they're out in the first round.
But doesn't that make his performance even more incredible?
It kind of makes it unsustainable is what I would think. But
here's what they've got: Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Miles McBride, and Isaiah Hartenstein.
Who do you hate more?
Are you kidding me? He's taken that team to the Eastern Finals.
Miles McBride is pretty good. Josh Hart's pretty good. Dante DiVincenzo Also a sickening guy to watch because he thinks he's tough, and he's not. Although T.J. McConnell the other night let his trash talk get to him, and I don't like that. T.J. McConnell needs to just play his game.
I'm watching you disintegrate right now. This team is under your skin, which must mean they're under the Pacers' skin.
No, those guys aren't fans, or emotional, or they're professionals.
So they don't play till tomorrow night, is what you're trying to
Correct.
tell me. I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. I'll be out camping. We'll probably take the television, but we'll see.
How long are you going to camp?
We'll be back Sunday morning. So
a couple nights out there. Is the youngster going with you?
As far as I know.
Taking a friend, or?
I don't think so.
So just the three of you?
Yes, that's the plan.
Now, I'm curious because you do have a camper. You'll sleep in that, but what about food? Do you cook your own food there?
Yeah, plenty of room. There's shelves and cabinets and drawers.
I mean, do you get outside and build a fire and cook?
No, we cook
food?
on the stove.
Why wouldn't you build a little fire and cook?
What are we gonna cook?
I don't know. You go catch something.
I'd rather not. I'd rather just make the food that we brought and have that.
That's what I call living off the land.
Well, that's not what we do. You can call it whatever you want, but we're not cavemen, so we're gonna.
We'll find a little muskrat somewhere.
I don't want to kill any muskrats.
Yeah, and yet, what are you gonna have?
Vegetarian muskrat.
Oh, brother. Anyway, it sounds like fun.
Hopefully.
The best thing about, well, not the best thing about your marriage, but Shannon has introduced you to a different life.
Yeah, we're a little outdoorsy sometimes.
Have you embraced that?
It seems so. It was my idea. I was the one who wanted to go camping this weekend.
Well, that's awesome.
So we're going to go do that.
I never would have believed it. Because there was a time when you were resistant to that.
Of course, most people are resistant to new ideas or different things or things that they've not tried before. But once you try it, or this could be used for a microcosm of life. Once it becomes familiar, it's not that scary.
Now, once you're out there, will there be other people in the vicinity? Do you have your own private?
Last time there were some people around also camping on the campgrounds. It wasn't like full up or crowded or anything, but there was a handful of groups. Well, it's a pretty big campground, so you can space out a little bit.
Well, good for you.
Skip rocks.
I like it.
I'm the best rock skipper probably on the planet.
Well, good.
I should enter a competition.
I don't know that.
I know a lot of people that probably feel good about their rock skipping abilities, and I'm just another guy who says it, but I'm so good. I'm getting like 17, 18 bounces.
Well, your arm, you don't have the arm for it.
Of course I do. It's just a technique thing. It has nothing to do with arm strength.
What are we going to do for the Bob and Jeff draft coming up in hour number 2?
Are we doing a Bob and Jeff draft
We are.
today?
What do you want to do?
I don't know. I have to think about that.
Let's do. I want to do a musical one today. Let's go with songs by the Rolling Stones.
That's a little predictable, isn't it?
Songs by the. Say that again, Max.
You did that Stones thing.
We did Rolling Stones?
Maybe a year ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have done that before. We've done a lot of, we'll think of somebody. You would never want to delve into, like, country music.
No, I'll delve in.
Will you?
Yeah, I don't know that much about.
Would you do Garth Brooks songs or Tim McGraw songs?
No, I don't know enough about Tim McGraw. I just don't.
No, I don't know. I mean, okay. I asked you, though. Would you do Johnny Cash songs?
My wife would love that. Let's do that.
All right.
Johnny Cash songs, and that's coming up at about 3:25. We'll each pick 8, and we'll let Max vote, and then we'll let my wife vote.
I hope she's listening.
Because my wife's a huge, as you know, Johnny Cash
Seems
fan.
like her vote would be a little one-sided, perhaps.
Why is that?
Do you think she can call it down the middle?
Sure.
And not just go with her husband?
Sure. Of course she can. You implying that she's not a fair?
I'm not saying that.
Person?
I'm just kind of almost the opposite. That she's so loyal that she might want to maybe even subconsciously sway in your direction.
I can't imagine that she would do that.
I hope not. I want it fair and square. I know Max is going to call it fair and square by his opinion, one person's opinion. But, we'll get it out there. We'll see what the folks think.
Well, we will see what the folks think. Kind of a light slate in Major League Baseball today. Your Twins.
Not
Your Twins, but our Twins.
Are they losing? Did they lose?
They are losing to the Yankees today. Actually, they lost to the Yankees 5-0. And the Yankees continue to play good baseball. Clark Schmidt, with 8 shutout innings, gave up 3 hits, struck out 8, walked none, 2.49 ERA. He's now 5-1.
He and
guys like this.
He and Luis
Why don't
Gill.
the Cardinals ever have a guy like that?
Well, I don't know.
Somebody that for years you've been thinking, well, Clark Schmidt could develop into a pretty good pitcher.
That's the key. Develop.
And then he does develop.
And Luis Gill is another one that's kind of saved their pitching staff. These unheralded guys that maybe have had a modicum of success, but then somehow find a different level. You know where Minnesota's headed next, don't you?
Probably Cleveland.
Cleveland for the Apple game tomorrow night. And when Cleveland debuts their beautiful City Connect jerseys.
They're not that beautiful.
They're pretty nice.
By the way, the Cardinals play Boston on Roku.
Sunday morning?
I don't have that. No, Friday night.
Really?
I think.
I thought that was a Sunday morning thing.
I still don't have that.
Well, go get a Roku TV.
No, they're too expensive.
No, they're not. Or
For
go
one
get a
game?
Or go get a Roku stick or whatever they're called.
No, they're called a Fire Stick.
That's Amazon.
Somebody said you're connected to your Fire Stick.
Well,
I don't know
do
what
whatever you want.
About.
I don't care. I mean, I have Roku, so your plight isn't really a concern.
By the way, you mentioned Luis Gill. He is 4-1. Clark Schmidt now 5-1. Luis Gill he walks a bunch of guys, but he doesn't give up much hits, and he strikes out more than 1 per inning. And even though he walks a bunch of guys, 26 in 43 innings, that's a lot of walks.
It is.
His whip is only 1.09.
That's not a lot of hits.
Nobody can hit him. So remember, they're without
Garrett Cole.
Let me finish my sentence.
Well, I wasn't sure you were going to.
There.
I didn't know. I thought maybe something happened to you.
They're without Garrett Cole. See what I did there? I even paused a little bit there.
Interesting.
Rodon's been good. Nestor Cortez has been okay. Stroman's been good. And then these 2 guys.
And obviously their lineup has some thump and a little bit of depth, so that's why they have the best record, I believe, right now in the American League. Baltimore's right behind them. Cleveland's up there.
Well, you would have never bought it with Garrett Cole.
What's his name?
See, I did it again. With him not having pitched yet. And here are the Yankees, 30-15. Is that good?
They'll probably
for
take
baseball?
that.
I say it is.
Yeah, I think it is pretty good. That's 2 out of 3 wins every
you've got
series.
The Orioles now just a game out, but then everybody else is at least 7 out in that division. So we'll see. Cardinals have a homestand coming up with Boston, Baltimore, and the Cubs. 9 games. How many do they win?
2?
2?
Yeah.
Well, then they've got to get rid of
They'll get one against Boston and one against the Cubs.
They got to get rid of some people then.
Well, that's
John Mozeliak being at the top of the list.
You want it to happen today, but it never happens today.
Now,
it always happens later.
It's just ridiculous.
It's not going to happen today or anytime soon.
It's just ridiculous. Scott Paske, who we bored to tears with that.
Was he on that whole time? Good grief.
Scott, welcome. How are you?
I'm good.
So we are now getting ready. I think there's a few still regionals wrapping up in baseball and softball right now, today, and maybe even tomorrow. I'm not sure. But we're on the cusp of next week being the crazy week where we have state track and field, soccer, baseball, softball. It's a crazy week. We love it. So let's start down the list of things you'll be watching out for. And let's start in boys golf because there's a pretty interesting storyline in boys golf.
Yeah, no doubt. And boys golf's coming up here. The state tournament's Monday and Tuesday across the state in the 7 classes. And around here, if you follow high school golf, Cape and Mount Carmel's always a good team. They have been forever and ever and ever, and they are again. But they've got a really good player this year. They've had him the last 4 years now. Asher Whitaker, a senior who is going to Oklahoma to play. So that tells you right there how caliber he is. And he's won the Kansas Amateur Championship, which there's a pretty good laundry list of super names on that title list, and he's one of the youngest to ever do it. The one thing he hasn't done is won a 5A individual title so far in his career. He certainly had the ability to. I think he's just kind of run up into an era where there's been some really good competition. But he goes into the tournament at Sand Creek in Newton on Monday with a lot of momentum. He shot a 9 under par 63 the other day at Crestview Country Club on the North Course, which is, of course, the Wichita Open's played on.
That's crazy, by the way.
Yeah, that's insane. And it's becoming more common though. With high school golf, there's just enough good players that are capable of doing this, and maybe 63 might be as lofty as it gets, but he certainly he's been capable of doing that, and finished second at state last year. Bishop Carroll's Noah Holtzman had a crazy 2 days of shot 66 and 61 up at Turkey Creek and beat him by 7 shots. So Asher shot 6 under par for 36 holes last year at state and finished second. So that tells you kind of the caliber of golfer he is. But he's in a similar boat to where his older sister Emma, who won a state title for Cape, and she went on to play at Oklahoma State and hadn't won a state title until her senior year, and so Asher's kind of on the same path here, trying to see if he can get that individual title in his last go around.
Just for a little perspective, in your opinion, then Jeff has a question. But 63 at Crestview North now. Would they get the courses ready for a high school meet as they would the Wichita Open, or would it be easier for a high school?
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be a little bit easier generally, although 63 is 63. I mean, who are we kidding?
Yeah.
It's they're going to let the gruff grow a little bit more here in June and let this rain and take hold and all that. But and they're not going to play. They probably weren't playing from the tips. I'm going to talk to Asher later just to find out kind of what yardage it was. But still 63. You're hitting great shots and you're rolling in a lot of putts and he won that regional by 7 shots and just a pretty dominant performance.
So, Scott, you'll, I assume, be at state track. I will be at state track. What is that tournament going to look like? I guess literally, with half the stadium missing. What kind of chaos are we in for?
Yeah. On our little storylines list here, that one's down there. That was down there kind of at the last deal. We can go down there.
I like to throw you a few curveballs.
Yeah, that's all right. We can adjust here, but yeah, obviously, if you've driven down Hillside or 21st Street, there's a different look to Cessna Stadium right now, and it's strange. I went out to a track meet, the Shocker Pre-State Challenge in April, and it's a little weird with no East Grandstand, and that'll certainly it'll be interesting to see if they can run the meet without a hitch with that. Being the way it exists, I think the competition will be fine. I think you've got your same areas for all the field events, and your track is your track, and there's just more of a construction look to and feel to the whole thing. And I know Brad Pittman out at WSU has got a plan in place to get some portable bleachers up on that east side and kind of a big tent to protect the athletes, but Mother Nature will have her say, and hopefully it's 2 good days of weather. I really can't imagine if we get a lot of rain out there, or if it's just super hot on that side where they've torn down the grandstand. That neither one of those factors would be great. Let's just hope we get some Chamber of Commerce weather for those 2 days of the competition.
Scott Paske, our guest, he covers our region for KSH SAA Covered, Keisha Covered. So back to the track and no East Grandstand. The thing about all that is, over the years, particular schools kind of know where they're going to go for this meet. They're going to hang out in the East Grandstand, the West Grandstand. They might find another place, but this is an adjustment. This is going to make for a different state track and field meet, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's not a one-year deal either. This plan to rebuild Cestus Stadium is going to take a few years, and so it's going to be a challenge that'll kind of go beyond here next week as well. And I'm sure they'll learn a lot and adjust with what they need to do, and that's the place is going to be evolving over the next couple of years. And I think what you kind of keep telling yourself is in 4 or 5 years, the state track meet may be as good as it's ever been because you'll have that new facility in place, and so there'll be some, maybe some pains here between now and then, but I think all the parties realize this is a marquee event, and maybe Keisha's marquee event as far as bringing every school together in the state, and it's a tremendous showcase. And so I think the State High School Activity Association, WSU, are going to do everything they can to make it as good as they can in this interim period while they're remodeling.
So we have Bryce Barkdale going for 18 feet in the pole vault. We have Adriana Shelby, who's been one of the best girls' high school hurdlers. I'm sorry, but. Yeah. Is everything revolving around Clay Shively and his pursuit of trying to break Jim Ryan's 800-meter record? Yeah, he's running that race today at Halstead in the regional, and then he's also going to run 1600 up there. And I just that really the scope of that. I think I maybe talked with you last time. It came into view at that Shocker pre-state meet when he ran in the 3200 relay, and his split in the 800. Was 1/10 of a second off of Ryan's open 800, all-time Kansas 800 open record, and so it's right there. I mean, it's absolutely right there, and Clay ran a great 1600 last year at state, and I think I don't know personally what he runs in such big level meets and things like that. I don't know if the state track meet is the grand prize or whatever for him, but boy, he really has a chance here to close out his high school career with one of those special moments, I think. And I think his seat time for going into regionals now, and the open 800 for him is like 151 something, and so that's still within reach of Jim's 800 record, which is 149.6, and so that's definitely a race. I mean, when it happens, when he takes the track for that 800 next weekend, it'll be a moment. I mean, it's definitely in the cards, and I hope he gets it because he's a really good kid and has a heck of a future in front of him.
What did you make of some of the baseball results this week? A lot of powerhouses go down. We had a 16 seed advance in 5A. Not a hopeless, winless 16 seed, but a 16 seed nonetheless. So what did you make of all that?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of the strange phenomenon that I didn't see coming, I guess. I mean, you're playing 6A. We talked about this last week, those schedules going from 20 to 26 games and how it's made things different. Well, what does it mean, I guess, at postseason time? I don't know if it's, maybe allowed a lesser seed to kind of maybe let one go in the regular season to make sure they're lined up for that regional, or I'm not sure what the answer is. I'd like to talk to some different coaches what was at play there, but Salina Central was barely got into the postseason. There's enough 5A teams. There's a couple that didn't make it, and they were one of the last two to get in on the western side, and had the opportunity and got a big lead on May South early, and was able to hold on and spring that 16-1 upset, and then came back and beat Hutch in the regional final. So, they're going to stay with 9 wins, and I don't know if for old timers, Salina Central's basketball team back in the early '80s won a state title with a sub 500 record, and we're the last place team in their league. So that maybe it's in the water at Salina Central to make a Cinderella run, but that's one of them. And then there were others. I mean, Eisenhower went up to Topeka and ended Topeka Seaman's 19-year streak of qualifying for state. I mean, Seaman and Carroll in 5A baseball are pretty much two things you could set your watch by in May, and Eisenhower goes up there and makes a late rally knocks off Seaman and ends one of the really long baseball state qualifying streaks going. That was another one, and then Rose Hill knocks off defending 4A champion McPherson in the regional. After kind of limping into the postseason. So there was a lot of that going on, and I'm not really sure, what was in the Gatorade or whatever, but it's interesting to see that, they're playing more games, and then is it having an effect on how these regionals play out, or is that just the nature of baseball? I really can't answer that at this point.
Scott Paske, our guest from Keisha Covered. Last one, I'm contractually obliged to mention soccer. So the Maize South girls soccer team is again unbeaten going into the state tournament. That's been the case each of the previous 3 years, but they've finished fourth in each of those years. That's an incredible stat. Is this the time they break through?
Well, it's kind of the age-old question for which area teams, and a lot of that. A lot of those teams have gone up there, have gone to the state semifinals with glossy records, and then run into your favorite Johnson County teams up there, and the title dream ends. But May South 17 this year. They've got a great senior scorer in Kendall Ewerts, who's going to Arkansas, and they still got to get through the regional finals. They play Valley Center tomorrow night, but have absolutely rolled, for most of this season. And Ray Ramirez coaches the girls team and the boys team, and we know what he's done with the boys team. He finally broke that ceiling for their boys, and they won the state title up, at 5A. And I think, it's kind of a similar scenario. They went into the semifinals unbeaten last year and lost two games to finish fourth. They won 16 games a couple years ago and finished fourth. So that was a ceiling that the boys had to break through, and it's still in front of the girls, but they might be as equipped as they've ever been to do so.
Scott, good stuff. We covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time. We appreciate it. Where are you going to be over the next week or so?
Well, I got a little state swimming tomorrow up in Lenexa tomorrow, but then state golf. I'll catch a couple different places there, including 5A on Tuesday, and then I'll roll into the state track meet later next week.
There you go. Thanks, Scott.
Enjoy it, guys. Thanks.
Scott Paske from Keisha Covered, talking spring high school championships. We'll be back. We've got an hour to go. We're going to play the Bob and Jeff draft coming up at 3:25 today. We're going to pick Johnny Cash songs, 8 each. Then we put it out there for Max to vote on. And then the wider audience on Twitter, still haven't called it what
the X platform.
Name it. I don't call it the X platform.
Why not?
First of all, I don't do that.
Okay.
Twitter's a better name.
I agree.
I mean, it's a perfect name for it.
Well, it was until the platform has been ruined.
Right. It's a terrible platform.
Now it's X. Who wants to be a part of X?
Terrible platform. But it's what we have. We'll be back.
Save on Cox Internet when you add Cox Mobile and get fiber-powered internet at home and unbeatable 5G reliability on the go. So whether you're playing a game at home,
yes, goal,
or attending one live, you can do more without spending more. Learn how to save at cox.com/internet. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial cable. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. 2H 2023. Results may vary, not an endorsement. Other restrictions apply.
Everybody knows it. Toyota trucks are the stuff of legends. Rugged, durable, everlasting. Toyota makes trucks that just don't quit. And now Toyota is driving that legacy toward the future with two of their most powerful trucks ever, the new Tundra and the all-new Tacoma. In a half-ton Tundra, you can rule the roads. From the comfort of a spacious cabin with connected tech and plenty of hauling power, the Tundra is ready to work hard and play even harder. Or check out the all-new 24 Tacoma, redesigned and electrified to maximize your adventure. With a bevy of available off-road driving and power transfer modes, you will effortlessly crush the conditions. And with the Tacoma's reimagined interior, you'll do it in style. And right now, your local Toyota dealer has more vehicles in stock and is making delivery on new vehicles almost every day. So don't wait. Buy a Tundra or Tacoma today. Visit buyatoyota.com for deals and more. Toyota, let's go places.
Baseball is back, and so is MLB.tv. Watch every out-of-market regular season game on your favorite streaming devices, anywhere, anytime, all season long. Follow the action live or on demand. Track 4 games at once with multi-view mode and catch up with in-game highlights. Plus, original programs, minor league broadcasts, and local pre- and post-game shows. Go to MLB.tv to start your free trial today. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.